Mike, sports vibes. Thank you for vibing with the bull. You already know the vibes. If you're a Philadelphia 76er fan, you know it's some drama going on in Philadelphia, especially with the Philadelphia 76ers. It's a lot of drama going on with the Philadelphia 76ers. And it doesn't make no dang on sense. We got James Harden requested a trade. We got Tobias Harris trying to get traded for a crumble cookie. We got a lot of stuff going on. And then we got Joel Embiid talking that talk. So guess what, Joel Embiid? I'm going to talk my talk as well. So Joel Embiid decided to do an interview with the Maverick Carter show. With Maverick Carter. I don't know if it's a show, but he did an interview with Maverick Carter, right? And he said, I'm going to get straight to the point. He said, I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's in Philly or anywhere else. I just want to have a chance to accomplish that. I want to see what it feels like to win that first one. And then you can think about the next one. It's not easy, but it takes more than one or two, three guys. You're coming at your players on your team, Joel Embiid. Come on, man. You got to have good people around you. And myself, every single day, I work hard to be at that level so I can make it happen. So every single day, I'm working towards that. All right. Now, let me talk my talk, Joel Embiid. First things first, right? You're a great player. You're one of my favorite players. You're one of my favorite players in Philadelphia 76er history. Allen Iverson is my number one favorite player. You know what I mean? Growing up, I seen AI do his thing. I seen AI play through injuries and get his team to a finals in 2001 against Shaq and Kobe and won a game and could have won the second game, but they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough. But even all that, Allen Iverson didn't have no quit in him. Didn't look down when he's losing in the fourth quarter. He worked his butt off. He tried. He gave 120% every single play, every single game to try to get Philadelphia a championship. My whole thing right now, Joel Embiid, is are you giving 110% or 120%? Because you can't control the injuries, because injuries happen. But you got to play through them. Once you're on that court, injuries are not an excuse anymore. But let me start from the very beginning, Philadelphia 76er fans. We did draft them in 2014, third overall pick. We got lucky with that pick. We went through the freaking process. Losing season after season after season after season after season. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Joel Embiid, that we seem like it seems like we're not drafting right. We could have drafted Jason Tatum. We're not drafting right. We could have drafted Brandon Ingram. We're not drafting right. I understand. We got rid of Jimmy Butler, probably your best friend in the NBA right now. Tobias Harris over me. Oh, my gosh, I remember that game. Tobias Harris over me. It's a dang on shame. I understand, Joel Embiid. You can't. It just can't be one or two, three players. I understand. But you're throwing your team under the bus. And if I'm not mistaken, what did you do in Game 7 this past postseason? What did you do in Game 7 against the Celtics? If I'm not mistaken, didn't you only score 15 points and you had 8 rebounds and 1 assist? An MVP, that's all you can produce on a Game 7 to go to the Eastern Conference Finals? Now let's keep that same energy, Joel Embiid. You talk about all these other players on the team, but are you taking accountability for what you didn't do? Are you taking accountability for what you didn't do? Because at the end of the day, y'all, you're the superstar of this team. You're supposed to be the leader. Obviously, you're not the leader. Obviously, you're not the leader because you wouldn't say no things like this. You would keep this in-house. Talk to Daryl privately. He asked you a question. You don't got to answer the question. Say next question, Joel Embiid. But am I mistaken? How is Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey having more points than you in Game 7, the chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals? The chance to actually go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you give up in the second half in the Game 7 against the Celtics, against the rivals of all the teams you could have gave up on. I don't want you to give up against any team. Especially if you're a Philadelphia 76er, you don't give up. You got to have that mental toughness like Allen Iverson. But obviously you don't have that. You gave up to go to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001. You're 7 foot, 280 pounds, and you play like you're a point guard sometimes, without being the best facilitator of the ball. You're shooting threes when you need to go down low more. You're not being aggressive. There should be no player that can guard you because we know what you're capable of, but you're letting these 6'5" players, these 6'7" players, these 6'8" players guard you, and you're doing fadeaways on these 6'8", 6'7" players. Take them down low. If they triple team you, double team you, pass out the double team to the open man. But you need to take accountability for what you haven't been doing. You can't control injuries, but goodness gracious, you're injured every single freaking season. Has there been a season where you made it through the whole season without you being hurt at least once? You can't stay healthy, and then you're the MVP, right? Talking all this smack about MVP, you didn't want it, then all of a sudden you did want it. You got the MVP, and you show up like that in the playoffs against the Celtics. You show up like that. Come on, man. I couldn't even debate the Jokic fans after the way you showed up against the Celtics, and then Jokic, to top it all off, was the MVP. The real MVP stood up when it counted the most and won it in the finals, where you need to ball out in the playoffs. You don't ball out in the playoffs. What did you do in the playoffs? Every single time the playoffs come around, you're either missing games, you have a stomach ache. There's always something. And it sucks that I have to come at you like this, but you got to keep it real. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it 100. I got to talk my talk because this is getting out of control. You talking like you did something. What did you do in the playoffs? I could understand if you was balling out and you got your actual average, 33 points a game. You actually balled out in the playoffs and then everybody else didn't do their job. But you didn't do your job either. You did not do your job. And you got the nerve to actually say that? This is not the right time, bro. You got to know what's going on. We trying to get rid of James Harden. We trying to get rid of Tobias Harris. And now you come out with this bull crap? This is wrong timing, Joel Embiid. What was you thinking, bro? Now, this is my whole thing. And I don't want to trade not Tobias. I want to trade Tobias. I don't want to trade Joel Embiid, y'all. I do not want to trade Joel Embiid. But the team comes before the player at the end of the day. And if you don't feel like you can win in Philly and you don't want to be in Philadelphia because we did make a lot of mistakes when it comes to drafting and getting rid of players that we shouldn't have got drafted and keeping players that we shouldn't have kept, Tobias Harris, thinking Al Horford would work next to you. There's a lot of mistakes that the Philadelphia 76er organization have made over the years. But what have you done when it mattered the most? What have you done in the playoffs? You know what this is starting to remind me? Because I'm a hybrid sports fan. I'm Philly, everything else. I'm a Flyers fan, Phillies fan, everything Philly, right? This reminds me, because I'm a Minnesota Viking fan. I bleed purple when it comes to the NFL. I'm a Viking fan all freaking day. You know what I'm saying? Know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Kirk Cousins, man. This reminds me of you do all these numbers through the regular season, but then when it counts the most, you choke or you're injured or something comes up. There's always something, Joel Embiid. And I got to keep it real, man. And I know for a fact, Teams are calling Daryl Morey about what can we do to get Joel Embiid. And if this is what you want to do, just be real. Keep it 100. Justin Jefferson kept it 100 with Kirk Cousins not being in his top 5. You need to keep it 100. Do you want to be in Philly? Do you want to win in Philly? Because you're talking outside of your neck. You're talking like you don't really want to be in Philly now. Why don't you have the heart and actually tell Daryl, if you haven't already, and be like, yo, we should have kept Jimmy Butler. Why are you getting rid of Jimmy? Obviously, there's some type of miscommunication going on, man. There has to be some type of miscommunication. So you just made the offseason a lot more interesting. Made it kind of worse for the fan base because now we might have to trade you now. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I hope if you do happen to get traded, I hope you stay in the Eastern Conference. And if you are in the Eastern Conference, we coming for you, bro. We're gonna bust that behind, yo. We're gonna beat you. We're gonna show you how Philly, having that Philly mindset, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, Joel Embiid, if you don't put in the work when it comes to postseason work. All that regular season stuff don't mean nothing no more, bro. All them numbers don't mean nothing no more, Joel Embiid. They don't. Leave in the comments below what you think about what I'm talking about, man. How do you feel about this? Are you disappointed in what Joel Embiid is saying? Because I'm going to keep it real. I'm disappointed, man. For him to say this right now, and for him to seem like he's not being real, you're not being real right now, Joel. Know what I mean? And you're throwing your team under the bus, but you haven't done what you needed to do. You didn't do your part either. You got oh my gosh, this is the one thing. You had PJ Tucker yelling at you, and I don't know what game it was. Was it game 5, game 6? I don't know what game it was, bro. I don't know what game it was, Joel Embiid, but he was yelling at you saying you need to get your crap together, man. You're the MVP of the league. You need to ball out. You need players to yell at you to get you to play hard? So how bad do you really... So mentally, right? Be real with yourself. Mentally, be real with yourself. How bad do you really want to win a championship? Because all that talk don't mean nothing if you don't do it on the court. Drop the mic, man. Real talk, though. But I know Daryl Morey's phone is going off right now, man. I know it is. Maybe all those rumors about you going to the Knicks wasn't rumors. Maybe you might really get traded. Why are we signing so many centers? There's a lot of questions, man. Because maybe there's something going on that we don't know. It's not out there until now. That you honestly might want to get traded and it just got out just now. And you just tried to find a perfect time to do it. But this ain't a perfect time, Joel. We're going to see what happens. You're a great player. You're my favorite player in Philadelphia 76ers in history. Well, it goes AI then Joel Embiid. But it just sucks. This is wrong timing, bro. It's wrong timing. This sucks. It really does. And I don't know how they're going to do this. There's going to have to be a big blockbuster trade. We need something back. If we do trade Joel Embiid, because I don't want to, but if you don't want to, if you don't think you can win in Philly, hasta luego. But as always, man, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you vibing with me. If you're a Philadelphia 76er fan, like and subscribe. Yeah, man, like and subscribe if you haven't already, man. And let me know what you think about this, what Joel Embiid said, man. Because this is a very interesting offseason. Yeah. This is a very interesting offseason, y'all. Yo, this is crazy. But, yeah, man. I'm out.